Part-time education on correspondence courses should be developed on a large scale at the university stage at the higher education level. Teachers and students should be actively involved in organizing literacy campaigns, especially as part of the social and national service programs. More effective procedures will be adopted in the recruitment of staff, and career opportunities, service conditions, consultancy norms and other prerequisites that should be improved. Teachers will have multiple roles to perform: teaching, research, innovation, development of learning resource material, extension and managing the institution. Initial and in-service training will be made mandatory for faculty members and adequate training reserves will be provided. Staff development programs will be integrated at the state and coordinated at regional and national levels. The curricula of technical and management programs will be targeted on current as well as projected needs of industry or user systems in higher education. Excellence of performance of institutions and individuals will be recognized and rewarded. The emergence of substandard and mediocre institutions will be checked. A climate conducive to excellence and innovation will be promoted with full involvement of the faculty. Selected institutions will be awarded academic, administrative and financial autonomy of various degrees, building a safeguards and respect to accountability. Networking systems will have to be established between technical education and industry, research and development organizations, programs of rural and community development and with other sectors of education with complementary characteristics. All teachers should teach and all students study. The strategy in this behalf, it consists of better deal to teachers with greater accountability, provision of improved student services and insistence on observance of acceptable norms of behavior, provision of better facilities to institutions and creation of a system of performance appraisal of institutions according to standards and norms set by the national or state levels. It is stressed on the reorienting the content and process of education in the light of cultural perspective. The existing scheme between the formal system of education and the country's rich and varied cultural traditions need to be bridged. Deculturalization, dehumanization and alienation must be avoided at all cost. Education can and must bring about the fine synthesis between change oriented technologies and the country's continuity of cultural tradition. The curricula and processes of education will be enriched by cultural content in as many manifestations as possible. Students will be enabled to develop sensitivity to beauty, harmony and refinement. Resource persons in the community, irrespective of their formal educational qualification, will be invited to contribute in the cultural enrichment of education. Due attention will also be paid to the specialized disciplines of fine arts, museology, folklore, etc. Teaching, training and research in these disciplines will be strengthened so as to replenish specialized manpower in these areas in the field of higher education. Apart from this combative role, value education has a profound positive content based on our heritage, national and universal goals and perceptions. It should lay primary emphasis on this aspect. Educational technology will be employed in the spread of useful information, the training and retraining of the teachers to improve quality, sharpen awareness of art and culture, inculcate abiding values, etc., both in the formal and non-formal sectors. Radio and TV programs which clearly militate against proper educational objectives will be prevented. Steps will be taken to discourage such trends in films and other media also. Work experience viewed as purposive and meaningful manual work organized as an integral part of the learning process and resulting in either goods or services useful to the community, is considered as an essential component at all stages of education to be provided through well structured and graded programs. It would comprise activities in accord with the interest, abilities and needs of the students. Environmental consciousness should inform teaching in schools and colleges. This aspect will be integrated in the entire educational process. The National Service Volunteer Scheme will be strengthened. Assessment of performance is an integral part of any process of learning and teaching. As part of sound educational strategy, examinations should be employed to bring about qualitative improvements in education. To ensure a method of assessment that is a valid and reliable measures of student development, the elimination of excessive element of chance and subjectivity, the de-emphasis on memorization, continuous and comprehensive evaluation that incorporates both scholastic and non-scholastic aspects of education spread over the total span of instructional time, and effective use of the evaluation process by teachers, students as well as the parents, introduction of change in instructional material and methodology, introduction of the semester system and the use of grades in place of marks, all these have been emphasized in this policy. And about the teacher education, it is said that teacher education is a continuous process and its pre-service and in-service components are inseparable. As the first step, the system of teacher education will be overhauled. The new program of teacher education will emphasize continuing education and the need for teachers to meet the thirst envisaged in this policy. District Institute of Education and Training (DAT) will be established with the capability to organize pre-service and in-service courses for elementary school teachers.